Welcome back to AsArt. Today we're going to talk about His Dark Materials. I have some questions for this expert that is on our show today, and let's just jump into it. Oh, no. Let's cross over because the world's... I'm your excellent host, Nick, and with me, as always, my great buddy, John.
Not the expert, John, yes. And then we have the expert.
He might be
Kyle.
putting his fingers in his ears the whole time. He kind of doesn't want the spoilers.
I don't want spoilers. Nick wants to know everything, so I'm going to be doing the earmuffs.
And we have Kyle, the expert.
Hello.
Not a real expert, but I've read the books and I really enjoy them, and I am loving the series for the most part. Let's say.
Oh, it's such a good series, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, I just want to say something about the most recent episode that we watched and the acting. Like when she screams,
the mom,
like,
right?
Oh, the mom. Oh my gosh. Yep. Like that when she was in that was so like, and then
that was primal.
It's primal, which kind of leads into some questions I have for Kyle.
Oh, okay.
Right. Woo, woo, woo. Turn on the siren. Spoilers up ahead. I like spoilers. I like to know more about the books and get into it.
And I love dishing them out. I love dishing out spoilers. So
yes, he's an expert cook at dishing out spoilers.
Oh, no.
All right. So first question, Kyle. One thing I brought up with John. So the demons. I noticed everyone has like an opposite sex for demons. Is that like a thing in this world? Like...
Yeah, it's a thing.
I call
like
it
everyone.
John.
Like if you're a girl, you have a boy demon, and if you're a boy, you have a girl demon.
Do you know why?
They don't really go into that a whole lot, and if they do, also I will say it's been about 7 years since I read the books last, so I am a bit hazy on that, but I don't recall anything specifically being talked about then.
Okay. So I was right though. Remember that, John,
right.
when I asked that question?
Yeah, you're right.
So even in the books, it was apparent though. Did you just pick that up based on the names of the demons, or was there?
Oh, I just noticed with their voices.
No, I'm asking Kyle when he was reading the books because he said there wasn't specific mention of it.
Yeah, like it's interesting because in the books, you only go at first you go off their names, and a lot of their names are like kind of exotic, right? Like Kirjava, Pantalaimon, Kaisa, like that. So you don't really know. But then when you take a look at the pronouns, right, you go, oh, okay, yeah, like. Lyra, and then whenever they mention Pantalaimon, it's a he or him, and then same inverse with the guys, right?
Cool. So that was a really good observation on Nick's part, because a lot of, especially when they're kids and the demons haven't settled, which most of the demons we're seeing are kind of kids. A lot of them, the voices are higher, obviously, so it's a little bit harder to catch. Nick,
I guess you're
early
right.
on, like episode 2, you're like, "Hey, is this a thing?" I don't know. Then we got Kyle.
And isn't that a fascinating metaphor that because a demon is supposed to be your soul or like your innermost voice, also that it's actually the opposite sex.
That's good. Oh, and then another question I have: do people end up with fish for demons, or dolphins, or whales?
Yes. So it's great because they've covered birds, right? But they're more flying, right? But in the books, there was like this really minor character or mention, like I think it was like John Fa talking about it, or one of the Egyptians saying that there was an Egyptian guy he is a permanent like man at sea, because I believe his demon settled as like a porpoise or something like that. So he's always on the water, right?
So he's Aquaman. He's Aquaman.
Yeah, like he was like some sea captain or something, or sea.
So if something's happening on the shore, he just has to like talk to his spirit about it.
yell from sea. Over there, you guys. Good job.
Looks like everyone's having fun at that party. Too bad I can't go because the limit we have here.
But the demons kind of settle in a form that's appropriate to the human, right? So if you're an aquatic based animal demon, I assume that person kind of is fitting in that environment anyway, though, right?
Exactly. It's also indicative of like I would say at least a little bit a part of their lifestyle. Right?
Yeah.
Can you give us one example that hasn't been spoiled yet?
Example of like a
like demon personality, demon.
Yeah.
Person.
So actually, there's a great example because they both have the same type of demon. So there's Lord Boreal, who has a snake demon, and we also have the guy who gives the sky spruce to Lyra in the outpost, right? He also has a snake demon. However, they facilitate two different like sort of character roles, right? Like Lord Boreal is a villain, I would say, right?
Yeah.
However, that other person, he's more of a gray character. right? He helps the main character, right? But at the same time, you always kind of get this feeling that he has his own motives. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I feel that the snake derives cunning, right? It's not necessarily that means they're bad. It just means they have certain character traits that they really excel at, right? And whether they use them for good or bad is dependent on the person.
Interesting. I'm gonna quote the church lady from Dana Carvey, like Satan. I'm just kidding. Oh, right. Okay, good. That was a question I had. Now I'm gonna go into some spoilers, John. If you want to cover your ears, if you want to.
I'm taking out my headpiece. You have to flag me down. I take earmuffs, but I have a headpiece in, so I'm taking out my headpiece. You grade me down when it's time for me to come back.
All right.
Yes. Okay. He's out. Perfect. All right. He's out.
All right. We're alone. Okay.
So Will, I have some questions about Will. Like, I think I can be totally wrong, which is fine, but I think Will's gonna end up in the world that we're in right now with all the demons. But I think he's gonna get there by portal, by dust travel. Is Will important to this story? That's what I want to know. How important is Will?
Will is integral to this story. So that's
is he like the other half to Lyra? Like, are they like supposed to be connected in some sorts?
Yes, and it's oh god. Okay, in the books it's so great. Like I just like I'm a hopeless romantic, and I just that's their sort of dynamic is super cool, right? And because in a way they both come of age together, and it's super heart-wrenching.
Okay, so I don't want you to spoil that much for me. I just was kind of guessing he's going to end up that way, but he doesn't have a demon, right?
He does not.
So he's gonna get a demon, or do we see it like alien or something like?
No, it's not gonna. Happens? You know what? Even so I might be remembering wrong. I might be remembering wrong, but even so, he does get a demon, Java, right? But in the books, I don't recall it being very explicit in how the demon manifests. Right? It's just like all of a sudden this cat sort of starts following him around. Right, and it's like, oh, that's weird. Kind of reminds me of my cat back at home, which they have had shots of in these episodes, right? His house cat, right? But this is a different cat, and it sort of like starts following him around. And Lyra, who when she first meets Will, is horrified that he doesn't have a demon. She thinks he's a cut child at first, and so she is really scared. But then when the cat starts following him around, she goes, "Oh, well then that must be your demon." Goes, are you sure? She's like, "Well, give it time. We'll see." Yeah.
Oh, and then also another question: Lyra's mother, is she a witch?
No.
she made me a newt. I got better.
I know you can. I know that in one of those episodes, the Egyptian guys were freaking out because she was so far away from her demon. But I think that's also indicative of another call out to who she is as a person. Oh,
yeah, because I noticed too, like she won't let the demon talk.
Yep, she's also hit it.
She also mentioned to Lyra like how bad demons are, and they need to stop listening to their demons.
Yes,
and so it's like almost to the point where she's like literally pushing her demon away from her as far as she can until breaking point almost. I guess.
And it's a fantastic metaphor for how she views herself, right, and treats herself on the inside
because of what she does for her experiments or her causes or whatever.
Right. She's into some twisted stuff.
But the monkey seems like she's a part of it. Or he's a part of it because it's a dude. Yeah, the monkey seems like he's like willing to go with this.
Well, that's
like he's
the
not
thing.
even fighting back at all.
Well, okay, so that's one of the things about demons. Remember, they're your soul, right? Your soul never really truly stops you physically from doing anything. They may offer protest, right? But ultimately, it's up to your own will to decide whether to direct that, right? And that's the thing. Because Miss Coulter has abused her demon so much, her soul has fallen silent in a way.
That's good.
It no longer has a voice.
That's good.
So that's the thing. These demons are powerful metaphors for like how like the inner being of people. It's really interesting.
And then what have you noticed been different with the books? Because I know you've mentioned to me like, oh, they did it wrong, it's out of order, or different things, and you're like, I like it, I don't like it.
So this is more of a story point that they did too soon, which is I think it was in episode 2. Lyra finds out that Lord Asriel is her father. I was like going, wait, what? Like me and my brother were both watching it at the time, and we're like, they totally ruined one of the huge like sort of like revelations that actually she doesn't find out who her true parents are until the very end of the first book, The Golden Compass, right? So technically, which would be this next coming episode, right?
That's so interesting. I'm surprised they didn't wait like they did for Empire Strikes Back. Like, look, I am your father. You know what I mean? Like for like a moment like that, right? Where it's like, oh,
yeah. And that's why I felt they lost an opportunity in that respect. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to consider when you're at adapting books to TV series. So it's I'll give them a lot of leeway.
So you know what though? Now that you mentioned the whole because I'm guessing too, she doesn't find out about her mother until the end too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that was that because I think it was like the next episode they were like, hey, "She's your mother," whatever.
Yeah, she screams "mother." Yeah. In the books, she's just Lyra. Her character always causes a ruckus. That's one thing they've definitely gotten right in the series, and she's basically like kicking and screaming in the cage. And Miss Coulter just so happens to come in to view the experiment that's about to happen because she likes to personally see them.
So they might have changed it just for that part.
Yeah.
Just so there's more emotional pull, like mother, you know what I mean? Like that whole scene and stuff like that. So they might have just upped it just for that moment kind of thing. Like, like who cares about the end? Because it's going to be, I'm guessing there's going to be even a bigger twist that her dad's a bad person, or not even bad person, or he thinks he's doing the right thing, but it's not like good for people's souls, you know with what? The dust thing.
I will say only this, because I don't want to go too deep into the spoilers, but Lord Asriel and Miss Coulter are very complicated characters, and they go through a bunch of different transformations, and it's stranger than you would typically think where their stories take them. So yeah.
Ooh, very interesting. Yes, so is Lyra's demons gonna settle pretty soon too?
Yes. So that's actually the idea about demons settling is very core to one of the, especially how Philip Pullman talks about one of his main motivations for writing these books is that bridge into adolescence, right? That time when puberty hits and you turn from a child to being a fledgling adult, right? And demons settling, like Lyra, her demon will settle into a pine marten, or it's either pine marten or it's some sort of like ferrety sort of creature, right?
But we've already seen that form.
So yes, so that's the thing. You'll notice that Pantalaimon favors certain forms or the other.
Yeah, and like also, the Arctic wolf.
Yes,
has been pretty common since
he goes into
snow.
Smaller mammalian things quite often, right?
Yeah,
and that's sort of like a hint at maybe the area of which he might settle.
You're right. It's been a butterfly, a mouse.
Actually, yeah. You know what? The two things in the books that he was the most was the pine marten and the moth. He was especially when he wanted to be hidden. Especially when during the Iofa Ragnarsson scene, he made himself into the smallest moth he could and hid himself into Lyra's pocket, so he could see that Lyra didn't have a demon.
Yeah,
she was indeed a demon.
So one last thing, then we can save more spoilers till the end of the last episode. Is she gonna lose her superpower to talk to the alethiometer thing once she becomes of age?
So she will, but that's the thing. It's not necessarily when she becomes of age, because there are people that can read it. Well, I guess they need a lot of books and knowledge and stuff and study. But I don't know whether if it's her adolescence that changes that for her. Or whether it's she's fulfilled her prophecy, because remember there's a prophecy about it, and so she has this innate intuition to read it, right? And some believe it's because of the prophecy. Right?
Is the prophecy will?
Now, once no, there's an even bigger prophecy that happens. But basically, so the bigger prophecy is that she is the second Eve. That's a huge,
Adam and Eve. So you're going back to Adam and Eve.
Anything else. Yes. So once she fulfills that prophecy, once she's fulfilled her role, she sort of loses that ability.
So she eats like an apple, basically, kind of thing.
Metaphorical apple.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Parks and Recreation.
Oh yeah.
When they're putting Twilight into that time capsule, and they're like, you can't put Twilight because it's too satanic, whatever. And then the guy's like, you can't put Twilight because there's too many Christian themes.
Oh my god! Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like playing both. Amazing, John.
Dude, at first I was just waiting, and then I was watching you guys just making motions. Then I started to close my eyes, but I was like, no, then I'm not going to be able to hear you guys. So then I was on my phone, and finally Nick's like texting me on the phone, hey, yo.
Awesome. So great spoilers. Basically, everyone's going to die next episode, John, just so you know.
Great. Sharks.
Just joking. No one's going to die. All right. If you enjoyed that episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear more spoilers or more background on different characters that they're not, going into detail with on the show, please comment down below. We would love to bring Kyle back to talk about it. I love just listening to Kyle talk. So you're welcome back anytime you want.
For myself as well, we'll probably have a episode where it's just after the first season is completed, we'll just have an in-depth. So filling in the gaps that the books fill in that the seasons aren't able to. We'll maybe do that as well. That way, everybody, whether you want spoilers or not, are able to get a little bit more fill-in. Obviously, if you want to read the books, grab those. But that way, myself and other people that don't want spoilers but still would like to be filled in on some extras.
I highly recommend reading the books.
Yes.
It's great.
And you could probably even get a good audiobook, right? On Audible?
There's one where Philip Pullman narrates it himself.
Oh, I'm going to get that.
That's good to know because the whoever's reading it aloud can make a huge difference. That's good to know the different people.
Yes, like the Harry Potter audiobooks are amazing.
Really great.
Oh, those are some of my favorite audiobooks ever. And you know what? Let us know if you want us to go deep into some other lore. I have a pretty good understanding of Middle Earth. So does Kyle. John's an expert on Transformers.
Wait, what?
Oh, I was like, what?
I meant, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I meant to say Terminator.
God. Oh, there we go. Did you really mean to say that?
Yes, I did. Honestly, I did. I did. I'm sorry. Can you do Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice really quickly, John, for us?
Yeah, no, some other time. No, I'm not ready.
Awesome. So stay in touch with us. We're going to be posting podcast 2 on Apple and Spotify, and you can find all of our links at asart.space. See you next time.